The Afrobarometer report released by the Center for Democratic Development suggests that Ghanaians endorse taxation and are willing to pay higher taxes to support the country's development. The report, however, states that majority of Ghanaians find it difficult to know what taxes and fees they are supposed to pay and how the government uses tax revenues. The analysis finds that citizens are more supportive of taxation if they believe the government is doing a good job of delivering basic services. But many citizens also express mistrust of tax authorities and see widespread corruption among tax officials. The study indicated 8 out of 10 citizens, representing 79%, said tax authorities have the right to collect taxes. This report comes on the back of the newly introduced taxes by the government. The government in 2021 budget stated that it introduced new taxes, including 1% COVID-19 levy, 1% increase in national health insurance levy, and 1% increase in flat VAT rate, as well as a 30% increase in fuel prices to take care of excess power capacity charges and sanitation pollution levy, which covers 10%. Joining us live on Zoom is Gilfred Esiama. He's a research analyst with CDD Ghana. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Esiama.
Thanks for having me, Aisha.
Mr. Siama, how did you arrive at this, that Ghanaians are really supportive of paying taxes?
So, as a lot of Ghanaians may be aware, Afrobarometer conducts this public opinion survey every 2 to 3 years. And this current survey that we are discussing was conducted in 2019. And as part of the standard questions that when we go out, we ask Ghanaians, we wanted to know their opinion about the payment of taxes. So when we set out, we do a nationally representative survey involving 2,400 adult Ghanaian citizens. And in this survey, we work with the Ghana Statistical Service, and the methodology that we use ensures that every Ghanaian adult citizen has an equal chance of being selected to participate in this Afrobarometer survey that we do.
Well, share with me the methodology for this one, because there are a number of people out there who say they do not support, pay more taxes, but your research indicates otherwise. What was the criteria for selection for people who would give you responses to the survey?
So we work with the Ghana Statistical Service first, and we basically do enumeration areas. So before people go to the field to even gather this information, we divide the country into enumeration areas, and then we select this representative, which is the 2,400 representative adult citizens. And when they go, we have an enumeration area that has been predetermined for the people to go and work. When they get to the field, there is a criteria for them to select who takes part in the survey. So we have a working pattern that we do. So it's not purposive. Over there in the field, people use random sampling technique. So there is a working pattern which introduces some form of systematic selection. So a working pattern where you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5th house to your right, you just enter. When you go there, which means the house is selected, you look for a household. And how do you do that? You also use a simple random sampling technique. What basically in Ghanaian parlance you say CCC, you do that and you select a household. A household composed of a group of people who eat from the same cooking pot. So here, when you identify a group of people who eat from the same cooking pot, let's say that household has 8 people, how are you going to select the respondents? You get the name of all the adults in that household, and you use a random sampling method. You can write all the names and you let somebody choose one. The person who is selected, whether the person is the son or daughter or the father or the mother, that person qualifies to participate in the survey. So we have a random sampling technique to prevent biases in the selection of respondents. So that's how we go about doing the Afrobarometer survey.
Mr. Siama, hold on a minute for me. Let me get onto our Facebook page, because we posted this on our Facebook page an hour ago, and we asked Ghanaians whether they're willing to pay more taxes per the Afrobarometer report. Let's see what the comments are. A number of them have come in. And let's start with Justice. He says, only in Africa they tax majority of its citizens who are jobless. Me, Kofi, pay taxes to end up in some pockets for him or her to send their kids overseas. Harun Boniface says, we're not seeing anything on ground. Some are paying it, but still the value is the same. A country with 64 years can't manage water and electricity. What are the motivation to pay taxes? And Joel says, it's not true, because what did they use for construction? What do they use for construction of roads, electricity pipes, and so on? Where do you think government gets such monies from? If they say that many don't know that it is the revenue that government gets from tax, like, I would agree, but for this, it's a big no. Okay, so that's a response to the first comment. I don't remember telling anybody that I'm willing to pay taxes. Neither do I remember telling anybody I'm not okay with how taxes are used in this country. Okay, so he's a bit neutral. Michael Ansa says, use social media page. Okay, let's go to Solomon. Says, this is not reflective of the current state of Ghanaians. Kofi Salon says, no value for money. Most of the revenue gets mismanaged. And Dan Balasa, where did they get this thing from? Okay, so Mr. Siama, let me bring you in here. What exactly was the response to this one? That the people are looking for information with regards to what their taxes are being used for and not getting, or they simply don't care about what their taxes are being used for? What exactly was the response on this one?
So there are two issues here that we are discussing. One is that people do not know how much taxes they are even supposed to pay, if they are supposed to pay these taxes. And I think this fits properly into the conversation about widening the tax nets, bringing more people from the informal sector into the tax nets for them to also contribute their part to the development of the country. Another one is about whether people have easy access to information about what their taxes are being used for, or they do not have any information. And when we ask this question, you have about 6 in 10 Ghanaians who indicated that it is very difficult to know exactly what the taxes that they pay are being used for. And from the responses that you got from the people who commented, I think it's fair and it doesn't contradict our findings. You have people asking or saying that the monies that they pay end up in pockets. You have other calling for value for money. You have other people also saying the money, they want value for money, it ends up in pockets. And these are issues concerning the administration of taxes. These are some of the lapses in the system for which people will not be encouraged to voluntarily go out and pay their taxes. So I think it is up to all of us and up to the government and the tax authorities to make sure that the concerns that Ghanaians are expressing will be addressed to ensure that more people comply with this tax administration in this country. When they do that, it makes the job of the authority easier in enforcing compliance.
I'm grateful for your time. Gilfred Esiama is a research analyst with CDD Ghana that released that Afrobarometer survey report.